All right, all right. Looks like we are live. Excuse me if I have a few technical difficulties, so to speak, to start. We're just trying to get this going for the very first time. So I want to thank you all for joining in. We have a very exciting stream, the very first one of the year. It's exciting. Chelsea is back after 66 long days from since the last match. We're back, and it's a new look Chelsea. Enzo Maresca is in as the manager. We have a bunch of new signings, a few of them, which we will see today. Tosin Adarabioyo will be starting for Chelsea. Mark Guiu as well. So there's a lot to get into it. Let's break into the lineups. What's going on, everybody, though, in the chat? If you guys want to let me know that you guys are here and you guys can hear me all right, that would be fantastic. And then we can go ahead and get into these lineups, right? So, in goal tonight, we have Robert Sanchez. Much to talk about in terms of the goalkeeper situation, including Philip Jorgensberg from Villarreal, who looks like will be coming into Chelsea. Then we have a back line of Levi Colwell, Benoit Badiashile, Tosin Adarabioyo, and Reece James at the right back position, which we'll get into where he is really playing in a little bit now. We have a midfield of Carney Chukwuemeka, Christopher Nkunku is going to be in there, as well as Romeo Lavia, who is basically a new signing for Chelsea after only playing a few games last season. He looks fit, ready to go, and Romeo Lavia is playing in that match. So we're really excited to see him and kind of look at what he can bring in that deep line playmaking role, because Enzo Fernandez will not be back until the 29th, as Enzo Maresca had said at his press conference last night. And up front, we have some exciting news as well. Mark Guiu will be getting his first start in the Chelsea colors. Guiu will be wearing number 38 this preseason. Excited to see what he can bring. Definitely a great opportunity for him to get the start today. Probably will be split up. You know, the bench will play half, the starters will play half. But to see Guiu in there is really, it's going to be fun to watch and see what he can do firsthand. Noni Madueke, if you read my article on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea yesterday, you know that this is such a big season for Madueke. So we really want to see him hit the ground running and whatnot. So, and then on the left-hand side, everybody's sweetheart right now of preseason, Tyreek George, is on that left wing. A big nod from Enzo Maresca to give him the start right from the jump. And if you, like I said, if you read that article, you noticed that I said that George will be, I think, primarily featuring in these first three sets of matches, right? So he'll be playing against Wrexham tonight, obviously, Celtic on Saturday, and then Club America. And then as we sort of get into those Man City, Real Madrid, Inter matches, I think George might take a little bit of a back seat for a Raheem Sterling or Mykhailo Mudryk, who weirdly enough is not in the lineup tonight. He was not in the Chelsea lineup for some reason. Not sure what that reason is at this point. Maybe he's a little bit hurt. Kieran Dewsbury-Hall also is not in the lineup tonight. He had a slight knock and he's recovering from that. So probably won't see KDH for this game, and definitely maybe not even the next game, but hopefully he can sort of get in there, ease his way back in, so to speak. Bench, like I said, we're probably going to see all of these guys play at some point. Wesley Fofana's in, Renato Viega, Malo Gusto, Josh Achampong, Ben Chilwell, Andre Santos, Leslie Ugochukwu, Raheem Sterling, Angelo Broja. So we're going to see quite a few guys. It sounds like it's going to be a rotation as the match goes along. Let me know in the chat what you guys think. Who are you guys most excited to see tonight? There's a lot of guys that I'm really excited to see. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Also, let me know where you guys are watching from. All of your support and watching is just fantastic. And we're excited to get the match going here. Wrexham will be playing their typical 3-5-2 formation, it seems like. That's pretty much a constant from them at this point. Now they're in their fourth season, I think. under the same manager, so they're very well versed in their motions and whatnot, and Chelsea is not. So we'll see what that ends up looking like. So we have a lot to get into in regards to when the match starts. We have a couple of really cool things that we're going to be bringing to you on this stream. This is a not your average watch along. It's going to be like a tactical analysis. So as you'll see here, I'm going to bring up my tactics board here, and we're going to be able to look and kind of draw out what we're seeing. And I thought this was especially important for this very first game, just because, you know, we know what we're going to see from Maresca, but we don't know exactly how it's going to look. So I'm going to walk you guys through what I'm seeing, take into account what you guys are seeing in the chat. I love an active chat. So if you guys want to go ahead and, you know, comment, let me know what you think. Tell me who you are excited to see. That would be fantastic. And as always, please go ahead and like this as well. That really helps. The YouTube algorithm gets more people naturally in here in the chat, so we can kind of build this community out. I also want to let you guys know about the presenting sponsor of this, and it's a partnership that I'm super excited to have on this channel, and that's Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea. I know some of you may be from there already, but you know, you can say it just as much as I can. It's an amazing platform. We have a really dedicated team of writers, analysts, Simon, as well as our transfer guru, giving all of his latest information and whatnot. We saw him consistently talk about, you know, Oscar Bob. He's been talking about we talked about the Elise saga, and he was ahead on all of it. So if you want to go ahead and find the link in the description for Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea, Simon is excellent. There is a piece of content for everybody out there in every medium that you want. Written, audio, video, and we're trying to do this new thing here with these match watch-alongs, and we'll be bringing in guests in the future to come and chat with us and watch these games along with us. So it's a great platform. Go ahead and find it in the description. I'm in the U.S. How can I watch? The game will be on ESPN. I believe there's a baseball game on right now, so it might start a few minutes later. You could also, if you have ESPN Plus, if you go to the app, you can go ahead and find it on the ESPN app as well. I'll probably be starting on the ESPN app as the baseball game is, I think it's in the top of the 8th inning now. So for those who don't know baseball, that's okay. That will be getting going and ending here for the regular ESPN viewers. But yeah, you can watch it on ESPN Plus as well, which will start at 9 o'clock. The game will probably start a few minutes later. But yeah, so who do you guys want to see? I see NO here. NO, thank you for coming on in. I really appreciate that. You know, he wants to see Viega, Guiu, Tosin. I think that is a really good group of players to look at. I think each of them will get opportunities. It'll be interesting to see when Vega gets into the game what happens, because Reece James is starting today. So Reece James, in my opinion, and I think from what we've saw leaked out of from the reporters that are there watching practice, will be inverting with Lavia inside that double pivot. But when Viega comes in, I think you're going to see him go inverted, and then I think you will see if Malo Gusto comes in, he will be playing more of a right center back role. I'm not sure about that. This is all new to us, so we'll have to see what Maresca likes to do. But I thought it was telling in his press conference when Mark Guiu, when Enzo Maresca said he watched a lot of Reece James at Wigan, and when he played that defensive midfield role for that season, and I believe he was player of the season in that sense, in that position. So he has the ability. This is really good, I think, to be in that range for him. I don't think it'll be as much wear and tear on him. I think it can open a lot of his versatility in terms of passing and whatnot. But with Vega, let's see if the inversion flips. Abi, first chatter of the stream, I really appreciate you. Yeah, happy to see them back too. It's been a long 66 days, man. We've really been struggling out here, and with the transfer market being what it is and being so volatile, and Chelsea sort of not being, as aggressive or willing to kind of break the wage structure on a Nico Williams or Victor Osimhen or Michael Elise, it's definitely been hard. But a match like this in the season starting, I think, is really going to be a good thing. I think people will get really excited once the matches actually start going, and you can see a Mark Guiu and you can see a Tosin Adarabioyo go in. Kayla, I want to see James and Chukwuemeka. I'm excited about Carney as well. I think when you look at Carney, I think Carney has the ability in this system to really operate in some interesting areas, both him and Nkunku. So let's look into that a little bit. So let's look into where I think Chelsea might be starting, and if you guys could, when you look up in the screen, you can kind of see. So you'll see that Chelsea, on paper, are lined up in a 4-2-3-1, right? Sway Lee, you can stream the game on, if you're in America, you can stream it on ESPN or ESPN Plus. I know if you're in the UK or Ireland, I believe you can, I think you have to pay for it on the Chelsea app as well. So there's a couple of different ways that you guys can do that. But if you're outside that range, I'm not entirely sure where you can watch it. I would recommend going to Chelsea's website, and maybe they can show you on there for your specific region where you can do that. But I think the Chelsea app would be a good way to start, and then maybe going to the web page and see if you can find that there. So as I was saying, you're going to see Chelsea line up really in that 4-2-3-1, right? So you got your 4 guys down here, your 2 here, your 3 here, and obviously your top striker up front. So when you look at how this is going to alter in the match, it's going to be a little bit different. You're going to see Nkunku. Oh, sorry, I'm still getting used to this tool. You're going to see Nkunku start to operate in this spot. You're going to see Carney start to operate in this spot. Reece will come in here. And if you see Colwill-Lydic as a left back, you're not going to want to necessarily jump the gun, because in this circumstance, Tosin's going to move over. Badiashile is going to operate in the center, and Colwill is going to be in this area. So we're going to see truly that box midfield that Enzo Maresca has really patented at Leicester City. So, there's a lot of opportunities in this box. We're going to see a lot of opportunities for guys like Tyreek George to make runs in behind, for Madueke to make runs in behind, and you're going to use these creative playmakers here in Nkunku and Chukwuemeka to find those guys. Maresca's system under Leicester last season was one of the best at getting into these areas and finding crashing goal scorers, right? So if it's George, you're going to see Nkunku come into the box here. If it's Madueke, Guiu's going to be in this little poacher's area, and Carney's going to come up here. So there's a few different opportunities for Chelsea to do that. Moses, the game should be starting any minute now. In a minute, it's not as cut and dry as when it's like a Premier League match. So it'll start probably at like 9:05, I would say. So just you can hang tight, hang in the stream here, and we can kind of go over it here while you're watching it. That'd be fantastic, man. I really appreciate everybody for getting in here. It's been amazing so far. The support that I've gotten on this. The support that I've gotten from my peers and colleagues at Simon Phillips Talks Chelsea. So I'm really excited, man. I'm really excited for this game to get started. The stream should be popping up here at any time now, and we can go ahead and get into it. So once again, here's the lineups over here. Chelsea going with a very strong lineup as well. I'm not too sure on the Rexam. There's a couple names from the documentary, of course, that I recognize. But we're going to see what it looks like. And I'm really excited to get into it. I'm really excited to watch this with you guys and and sort of kind of break down what we're seeing in Enzo Maresca's first match. Steven in the chat, he wants to see Reese, Christopher and Nkunku, Carney, Wes, because of injuries last year, as well as Tyreek and Giyu. Yeah, I was a little surprised when I saw the lineup at first, and I saw Nkunku, Lavia out there, as well as Reese. I figured that they would, and Carney, I figured they would maybe try and ease them into it a little bit, but nope, they're going from the start. So it'll be good to see. So 9:30, it's possible. Yeah, I saw a couple of different times on Google, because I originally set my stream up, and you might have saw this on my tweets that went out at 9:15, because when I Googled it, it said the game started at 9:30, but everywhere else I looked, it said 9 o'clock. So we might have a little run up to this. Pranav, yeah, so the stream, it started on ESPN Plus. I know the baseball game on ESPN is a little bit behind. I think last time I checked it was in the 8th inning, so it might come up in a little bit. But I'll definitely let you know when that comes on. I'm personally watching on ESPN Plus right now, but we'll go ahead and once the match gets started, we'll let you know and get into it. Delayed 30 minutes, says Archie. Okay, well, we got a lot more to talk about then, and that's totally cool. There's always plenty to talk about with Chelsea. There's never a dull moment being a Chelsea fan. A couple more people in the chat. Excellent, guys. Amazing. Senzo from South Africa, looks like 4 a.m. waiting for this game. That's a trooper. It's 9:30. It's 9 o'clock here right now, so I'm feeling it myself after a full work day. But gotta have the caffeine, gotta have plenty of energy for the stream. But 4 a.m. is crazy, man. That's dedication right there. Favor right there says, love what I'm seeing in the lineup. I am too. I think it's a very diverse, very flexible lineup from Chelsea. I think seeing Reese in that tucked in pivot is going to be really interesting in that box, because he has the ability, he has the technical ability, he has the passing range, he has the defensive capabilities, and I think long term you can sort of see how that fits with the rest of the players, because Cucurella is going to come back, and Cucurella is going to be like, man, I'm the perfect guy to invert. But if you do it like this, now you can get Levi, Badiashile, and Tosin in there. So it's really impressive. It'll be not impressive, but it'll be interesting to see what it looks like when you have the full allotment, full squad, and whatnot. Wow. Favor, 3 a.m. in Nigeria. Archie, 3 a.m. in the UK. You guys are troopers. Thanks for joining me in this. We'll try and get into it. I'm still on the event about to start screen on ESPN, so it might be a minute, but hopefully they make it worth it. I think we beat Wrexham 4 or 5-0 last year. I think Ian Matson had a couple goals, so that'd be great. Cricket Fantasy Freak live stream link. I know in the US it's definitely on ESPN. I know in the UK and Ireland, I believe you can purchase it for I think it's £5 if I'm not mistaken. Otherwise, I would probably check the Chelsea website and take a look and just see where you're at with that. MGO 2 a.m. a trooper. Godez 4:05 a.m. in Congo. One God, one me from Australia checking in. We have a very diverse group here, so I love it. I love it, guys, and I appreciate all the support that we're getting. We got even more. Keaton, 11:30 a.m. in South Australia. It's perfect time for you, to be honest, Keaton. Start your day. Hopefully you're not working. But if you are, it could be a nice little break to the work day. Peter, 5:04 in Kenya. A lot of times, it's interesting when these games come to the U.S. and they're on my time, and I'm like, God, this is nice. I can come home from work, relax, watch the game and whatnot. But yeah, for everyone else, it's crazy. I know. Proper Chelsea takes dedication. That's what it takes when you support a club like this. You gotta really do that. Rojan, I'm in Wisconsin, man. I'm in the Badgers state over here. So I'll be going to the Notre Dame versus Notre Dame game versus Celtic. So if any of you guys are going to be there, feel free to hit me up on Twitter and we can definitely schedule a meetup. I will be going to the Chelsea event. That's going to be going at 10 a.m. I believe. If you look in on their website, you can sign up for that. And I think it's they cap it at 500 people capacity, but I'll be down there as well. The game in Canada, I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Canada, to be honest, Jordale. I think it's pretty much just what I know is US is going to be on ESPN, UK is going to be on the stream on the Chelsea app. So I would check the Chelsea app for sure. I would make sure that you look there. I'd make sure you look on the website, ESPN in the US, but I would check the app and the website for everybody that's asking if the game's going to be streamed here. 7:50 in Nepal, man. That's a bright early morning. Got a cup of coffee, I hope, for you. Nigeria in the chat. Dennis, what's up, my man? How are you? Happy to be here with you guys. Liberia is 2 a.m. 2 a.m. in Ghana. 5:07 in Somalia. Excellent. Thank you guys so much for being here. It's amazing to see this kind of support that we're getting on this. We're going to be hoping to bring these to you every single match. The next one against Celtic I will be at, so I will be doing a match day vlog. You can go ahead and find that on this channel here. We'll be posting that after, giving you guys what the feel of a Chelsea in the US tour looks like. So we'll be bringing that to you. But after that, we'll be doing live match streams afterwards. And when it's in the UK time, you know, when it's not 3:30 and other people are awake, we'll be bringing definitely people in here. Shout out to Lindo, South Africa, 4 a.m. That's tough, man. NO, you're going to Man City and Charlotte. That'd be fun, man. I went to Charlotte a couple years ago for Chelsea versus Charlotte FC. They lost in penalties, oddly enough. 11 p.m. in Jamaica, or in Argentina, Jamaica, Romania, Somalia. Yeah, the game looks like it's just starting. It showed up on my screen. Enzo Maresca just took his seat. So it looks like the game was supposed to start at 9 o'clock. It was kind of poorly timed out from a couple of different platforms, but it looks like it's about to get started now, and we'll get into the tactical analysis. Skur, yeah, I'm surprised Infinite Athlete is the front sponsor at this point. You know, I think that, you know, they're trying to have a placeholder. I'm sure they worked out an agreement to get some sort of fee from Infinite at this point. But I think the jersey looks pretty good with the sponsor on it as well. So I will not be streaming the game. Oh, you were? I know. That's cool, man. That's cool, man. That was, yeah, the rain delay for that was just horrible. So yeah, if you know, you want to look at, I'm watching it on ESPN, so you guys might not be able to see it, but they're showing the lineup and they're showing a 4-4-2, which is not what they'll be running. So, nope, not streaming it. I'm just going to be doing a live tactical watch along, which we will be doing here. So we'll be talking about what Maresca is doing with the team, and showing where, you know, players we positioned, what some tendencies and trends are going to be. So we'll get into that stuff. Barbados as well. Thank you everyone for being in here. I really appreciate it. Yeah, I don't know if I can provide a link on here, but I'm sure you will be able to find one pretty easily. So I could be your companion with it. I can help you follow along here if you can't find it, and we can start to talk about it. It looks like the players are starting to hit the field. Jersey doesn't look too bad. I think it looks okay. I don't like the shorts. I think it's more of a streetwear kit, but, you know, it always looks better when the players are on it, you know. So, all right, we will be getting ready here shortly. It looks like the players are going to be taking the field here momentarily. Trying to get everything set up. Trying to get this clock to work. This is my first time doing it, so you'll have to excuse me if I don't get everything correct the first time, but I'm trying to get that clock going. Okay. Well, I'll just keep you updated with the time until I can get that working. Sorry about that, everybody. Jackson is hurt still. If you remember during international break, he had hurt his leg a little bit. So he's easing back in from that as well. Pranav, hopefully Broja scores today, will attract prospective buyers. Guiu and Sanchez under the radar too. I think Broja is definitely somebody that will be sold here, but I think he's going to have a chance to fight for his place. I think it's a good insurance policy if Mark Guiu can't go. And we are off with the match, everybody. So let's get into it. I won't try to look at all the chat. It started on my end okay. I have it here on ESPN Plus in the US. You might be a little bit behind, but we'll kind of get into that here. So, as we see some of the build-up immediately, and I'm at the 24th second mark, so I'm apologize for the timing is not working at this moment. I'll try and get that resolved for the next one, but we're already starting to see that transition from Reece James into the midfield, and it'll be interesting because he's going to have to ensure, because Tosin is a little more narrow in certain situations, and if Reece is here, this opens up this entire area right here, for players to possibly exploit. So it's going to be a lot on Madueke to bounce back a little bit into those positions and definitely cover back. But if you're watching right now, Reece is definitely in that double pivot with Romeo Lavia. Abby, man, yeah, appreciate it. I'm happy to be seeing them too. Doomsday, yeah, the game has started. I'm in the first 1 minute 30-second mark at this point. So we definitely see the guys out there at that point. So I apologize if your stream is a little bit behind mine at this point. Cameron, you can put it on ESPN or ESPN2. It's always also on the ESPN app on ESPN Plus as well for the US. The UK, you might want to check out the Chelsea app or website for more information on that. Oh, wow. Levi is already in scraps with wow, there's already a scuffle on the pitch in the first few minutes. 23 on Rexam and Levi were hand in hand, arms wrapped around each other. What ESPN Plus? If you just go to ESPN Plus and you go to soccer, you should be able to find it down there pretty easy. Yeah, Eric, go Levi. Well, I did watch the Wrexham documentary, and this number 23, McLean, he's their captain, is sort of kind of a shithousery type guy, so he definitely likes to stir the pot a little bit. But good on Levi, step up. It's preseason. There's no need for any late challenges or anything like that at this point. So, to get that kind of out of the way is probably a good thing at this point. Maybe, keep it easy because it's preseason. Yeah, total shithouse is right. But it's early yet, so we'll get into that. You definitely see at this point in the build-up process, guys, you're seeing Guiu. Sorry, I got to switch out of this. You're definitely seeing Guiu operate here. You're seeing Nkunku almost playing as a second striker. Lavia's in here. Carney's in this area right here. And these guys are moving up the field, dominating possession, right? Really narrow in this sense. So trying to focus on getting them compact, getting possession. Chelsea have a free kick now in the 4th minute in interesting territory, so to speak. Probably good for a cross on in. Yeah, Levi. Yeah, he's looking good, man. I appreciate that. You got to have someone to kind of have a backbone at that point. And Eric, yeah, Guiu is a big boy, man. He's strong. Oh, it looked like Reece James there was on the free kick and just nicked it wide of the right post. I don't think Okonkwo got a touch on it, but Reece Reese tried to attack that near side, and we like to see that. It was Madueke and Reese on those free kicks. So you'll definitely see Reese on those types of things as well. Kayla, yeah, love a good scuffle. Gets the fans going for sure, definitely. Especially in a preseason game, people will like that. Sort of like hockey over here in the United States, so to speak. Yeah, I really like Reese in the midfield. Actually, he looks comfortable. I think he allows Lavia to get forward a little bit. Lavia is himself is a good playmaker on the ball, a good passer. We didn't really see him last year too much, but what are you guys thinking so far? Did you guys all get the stream up yet? Did you guys find it on your particular networks and whatnot in your countries? I hope so. Guiu dropping deep. I kind of like that. You're going to see the striker drop deep, sort of link up with the midfield. I mean, Wrexham's lines are very tight at this point. You're going to see these. I'm going to kind of draw it up for you guys here. They're slipping into a back five, really. So they're keeping their lines super tight in the build-up here for Chelsea, right? So let me draw this up for you guys really quick so we can kind of look at what's going on and where those guys are sort of spacing out, So we have Carney, Noni is on the touchline, Reese is up, and then these guys they're spacing out a little bit. They're definitely spacing out, I mean, a little bit. You're going to see Nkunku come in here and make triangles with George and Lavia and Nkunku in these areas. You're also going to see Carney drop in and make triangles with Madueke and Reese and Tosin. And you're also seeing Guiu come up when Lavia gets the ball here and try and pull defenders up a little bit. Yeah, Eric, the Yankees are on, so I think it was the 8th last time I checked, so it should be over soon for all of them. I got to get this clock working, guys. I really do. The clock is imperative. I'm going to take it off for meantime while I try and fix it, but we're in the seventh minute, 8th minute. We're at 7:30 on the clock right now. Chelsea are really doing a good job of keeping those center backs wide. They have two guys pressing up top, Rexam do, so Reese is dropping in to those little half spaces to try and open it up. Him and Lavia are working as a partnership. And Nkunku is coming to that left space, trying to pull defenders out wide so Guiu can run in behind. Johnny did buy the match, but both the homepage and the app won't show it to me using a Chromebook. Any tips? I would just maybe try and log out and log back in. I know Chelsea's, when you try to watch a game on there, sometimes it can be really finicky sometimes when you do that. So I apologize. I'm happy to help walk you through it at this point, but I would just try maybe restart your browser or clear your cache and try and get back in at that point. Biggie, yeah, the Yankees are trash. Yeah, we want to be watching Chelsea, man. Why are the Yankees on? So, one thing to note that I do like in what I'm seeing thus far is where Nkunku is playing. He is playing as that. Him and Carney are playing at that top box area, right? And when I mean box, this is what I'm talking about, right? So when I'm looking at the tactics board here, right, we're looking at Nkunku and Carney, and we're looking at an inverted Reece James and a Romeo Lavia. This box here creates, and we've seen a lot of people run this box before, but Maresca really likes to emphasize putting attacking creators in this situation because, as you'll see, and we haven't seen it yet, it's been a little bit cagey. We had the little scuffle in the beginning, but we're going to see Tyreek George and we're going to see Madueke make these darting runs. We've already seen a few times now Guiu kind of operate in these spaces here, and Nkunku dragging this 10 so Guiu can have a run in here. So then this center back, this midfielder has to try and pass it off to this center back, and that can create, you know, an easy pass from George to Guiu, or a Colwell to Guiu, or a Lavia to Guiu. It's all about spacing and moving guys out of different positions. When you have a possession type system, the off-ball work is just as important as the on-ball work at this point, you know. Moving defenders just by where you're going. We saw it again. Tosin did not complete the pass there to Guiu, but Guiu has been very active running in those channels, and we love to see that. We love to see somebody who's active, somebody who's willing to make those runs. And I think if you watched any of him at Barcelona, any of the scouting reports, any of the video comps that came out, he's very mobile and he's a workhorse up there. And I think that's why Chelsea like him, and especially for that price point, I think that was a good bit of business. Everybody in the chat, what's your favorite signing of the summer so far? Who do you think? Maybe who's your favorite signing, and who's the biggest impact you think that's going to be this season? I think my personal favorite signing has been Mark Guiu, just because of the potential that he has, right? But then we could talk about even furthermore, who's going to make the biggest impact. And I think that'll be Kieran Dewsbury-Hall. I think Dewsbury-Hall has all the makings for a great season. I think he knows the system and whatnot. Chelsea a little sloppy with the turnovers here. I said in the beginning when I wrote my pre-match article on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea, I said, I want Chelsea to I'm okay with mistakes. It's preseason. That's when these are supposed to happen, but I want them to be purposeful mistakes. And I think I've seen that to this point, purposeful mistakes from Chelsea at this point, right? So, but yeah, let me know in the chat, guys. Who's your favorite signing of the summer so far? I think I'm pretty pumped about Dewsbury-Hall, and I think Tosin will be a good one too. I think Tosin has all the makings of a player that, can really perform. Pretty sloppy out of the back from Chelsea, to be honest with you, but Lavia does a nice job of getting the ball back there. They're trying to make these passes to Nkunku, who's diving in, in this build-up process, right? So they're trying to make these types of passes to Nkunku coming in here, or Nkunku in this area, right? They're trying to make some more difficult range of passes here, right? So they're not as as accurate as I'd like them to be right now. Badiashiel's in the center, which I think is interesting. I think any one of those three that are out there, Colwell, Tosin, or Badiashiel, could be in the center at any given point. But I think it just depends on who's out there, right? Eric, yeah, it is strange to watch Reece out in there in the midfield. I think it's definitely not natural, and it'll take a little getting used to. But I think he's comfortable. I think he's comfortable there. I think that's one of the most important things as well. I'm going to tweet out again that we are live. Oh, looks like one of my pictures went away. Where did you go? As always, folks, we're going to have technical difficulties on week one of this, so you'll have to excuse me. We'll get that clock working here shortly. Probably not on this one. I don't want to ruin the stream or anything like that, but we'll get that going, so I apologize for that. What are people saying on Twitter? What do we like so far, Pretty cagey start to the match. Chelsea really haven't had too much of the possession in the final third. I think they're still trying to get used to the feel, and I think Reece is getting used to it as well. Haven't seen Carney integrated too much. Haven't seen Nkunku integrated too much. But they're making runs. Guiu's making runs. George is making runs, and Kunku's making runs. But it's early, you don't want to grab any too big of thoughts from it, too big of an assumption, So, but it's definitely they're trying to work it out at this point. But I do like what I see from some of the attackers, and we see right away, Levi taking an opportunity to get those long passes in the channels to Tyreek George. I think we're going to see that quite a bit because Chelsea, just based off of who they've brought in, right? They've brought in Tosin, whose passing range is one of his strong suits. They're bringing in Badiashile, one of their strong suits, is those long passes. Lavia, Reece James in those areas. They're going to have passes in the channels for sure. But, thinking about those passes and making those passes is two different things at this point. In the 16th minute, 15:30 at this point. Like I said, not too many chances. Reece had a decent attempt on a free kick. But Chelsea are still kind of working through the build-up stage. This is something that we heard from Leicester fans at this point. We heard from Leicester fans that, it can be a little boring, but we're possessing the ball. And against a side like Wrexham, you don't always know exactly what you're going to get, right? Because they're not going to come at you. They're 2 levels down from us. They're going to sit back a little bit, which, you got to beat these teams as well. So it might not be pretty, but it'll be interesting to see, when we play against a Man City, Real Madrid, and Inter Milan and see how the dynamic changes to that point. A little sloppy from Reece in the midfield at that point. Trying to do a little interchange with Carney. Haven't seen much from Sanchez at this point. They're not really pressuring him too much, so he's pretty easily nothing too serious with his footwork out of the back at this point. What do you guys think about the new goalkeeper option from Villarreal? I can't say that I watched too much of him, and I'm not quite the goalkeeper czar as some people are. I can look at statistics and make decisions based off of that, but I think overall I'm not so I'm not like worried. I want to make sure that they're giving Petrovic a chance because I really rate him, but if they have to loan him, then fine. Guiu, their excellent work rate with Mark Guiu. Making those runs in the channels, I think that would be great for him. I think that's a good look for him. I think also when you think about how this might look at Nico Jackson, Nico's great at running through those channels, but Guiu's a little tank, man. He's mighty. He's strong, and hopefully we can see him net one. That'd be great. Seen mixed things, Steven? Yeah, I've seen mixed things as well on him. Oh! Reece put a really nice cross in, and Kunku got his head on it, and Guiu just missed. He didn't miss it. He just couldn't get his foot on it in the back post. But he did everything right. He was running. He just couldn't get his foot on it. Dang. Oh, what a good opportunity. What a ball from Reece. What a flick on from Nkunku. That's what you really like to see. That's what you really like to see. I think Maresca is going to be a good manager. I don't know. There's just something about him that I really rate. I really appreciate, I think that he... Oh, wow. Nice steal from George playing the passing lanes. Man, he is very calm on the dribble. Very calm. But yeah, back to Maresca. I think he's going to be a good manager. He just seems to have a good way about him where you can kind of trust him. I think he's going to be. I'd give it a couple years. Eric, yeah, it was a great flick. It was a great flick on. And Kunku's so smart in the box. He has the ability to really, really, impact this team if he can stay fit. And Pranav, you're right. It'll be interesting to see what the set piece taker does, the coach. You know, that was such a big thing from Chelsea. And I think they've really tried to address it too, right? You know, they've really tried to address the height, problems and the mentality. You know, you got to have, Tosin, handball. But you really got to appreciate that they've sort of taken this as like, all right, we need to get some taller dudes in there, because if we're going to have like a Cucurella out there and we're going to have, a Sterling or some shorter guys like that, we need to beef up our height. We really do. So, they got Tosin, who's like 6'4", 6'5". They got Levi back there, tall guy, Benoit, big guy. So they're definitely trying to get some dogs, get some height on there, for sure. And I didn't really get they don't do a great job. They always show the penalty taker, so it's hard to really see what they're doing in terms of a set piece. But I'll definitely keep an eye and see if they're trying to what they're trying to do, and see if it's anything different from last year. I'd have to imagine it is a new guy. I mean, what they were doing wasn't working. Yeah, Steven, great, good set pieces. Reese's was nice as well. Eric, I did too. I liked Poch to a certain extent. I thought Poch was okay for a bit, but he's and I don't agree with all that what Talk Sports says, or Simon Jordan or whatever, but he's kind of a bridesmaid. He's never going to really win you the big thing. He really hasn't, other than his time at PSG. I think you need a guy that's willing to work with young players, and it seems like Maresca is that guy. I won't lie to you and say he was my first choice, because I didn't really know too much about him. But after doing some research, I think he's the perfect fit, to be honest with you. And everyone, if you wouldn't mind, just go ahead and like like this video. That's a huge help. It helps the algorithm. And if you haven't subscribed already and you like the content, I put out a couple videos a week talking about various topics. Now that there's some actual football to watch and study, that makes the videos even better, right? And Kunku got a kick to the back of the leg, a yellow card. I think he just got kicked. He's already up. He's fine. I know, Eric, right? When you say Nkunku's little moments are making me excited, he gets kicked in the leg. That's brutal. But yeah, guys, any support is fantastic. If you want to follow me on Twitter as well, we can go ahead and do that. You go ahead and follow. I'll give you guys a follow back, and we can chat. I love Chelsea. I mean, Chelsea is one of the most important things in my life right now, and my fiance in the other room would probably say, "Oh, I'm number one," right? But we'll see. Eric, it's all right, man. Not your fault. Noni on the set piece. Oh, Tosin, a little flick on. Constance, hello, how you doing? Welcome to the chat. We're doing a little bit of a watch along here, doing some tactical breakdowns as we see. We're at 23 minutes. We're about halfway a little over halfway through the first half. There's a lot that we can like about what we've been seeing from Chelsea. Definitely possession, right? They're keeping the ball. They're valuing the ball. They really want to focus on making sure that they're easing their way up the field. We're going to see as this ship gets going, and as this thing gets continued to get worked on, and it's not going to happen overnight, right? So we're going to see how that shakes out. But I like this group out there. I think he did a good job of putting a potential starting back four out there, Cucurella's not here, obviously, but we can see Reese operating in that. God, Guiu, man. I love that pressure from Guiu. You guys got it. I mean, if you're watching this, how can you not love Mark Guiu right now? Mark Guiu, man. The presence, the pressure, the effort. I mean, you don't see that from every striker. I mean, I get he's 18 and he's got something to prove, but I love that. I love how he flies around. I love that. Oh, Noni's in. He probably should have passed it. tried to cut it in on his left-hand foot. Had some runners in the box, but a good little motion from Chelsea there. We did see on that possession, and we'll jump to the board here really quick. We did see one staple of Chelsea's, and Maresca's identity at this point, right? We see that they're trying to win the ball back immediately. Leicester City last year had some of the biggest counter-pressing numbers. They tried to win it back in their own attacking third. I mean, if you're on the same time as me, I'm at 25-13 at this point. Carney is pressing, Guiu is pressing, George is pressing. They're really working on it. And then you see Nkunku and Carney pop up in these areas when the ball is out there. They win it back in this area, right? I mean, people are out of position. What happened there was Carney took it off the six here. This guy is daydreaming a little. This pass was open. And then you immediately saw, right? Who's crashing? Guiu's crashing. Nkunku, who has the free roaming license to operate anywhere, is crashing the box. George is coming in the back post. Now, Madueke should have made a pass, right? Okay, hindsight's 2020. But you're seeing some of the key principles of Maresca's system right now. You're seeing pressing. You're seeing winning the ball back quickly, dominating the ball. And it's only been a couple of weeks, but some of these ideals are really starting to sink in quickly, and you got to love to see that. Eric, yeah, the presence from Guiu, I know you're talking about it, is just fantastic, and Pranav as well. Aggressive pressing, I mean, it's important. There's no room and there's no time for lackadaisicalness, because when you possess the ball, you might not have so many shot attempts. Badia Shield had a good opportunity there. Just couldn't get his feet right on the corner. Oh, man. Yeah, but Noni was getting greedy. I mean, he feels the pressure. It's a big year. There's no way that you can see Chelsea say, Olise's my dream and all this stuff, and not be like, okay, it's kind of put up or shut up time for me. So he's going to want to definitely try and operate and be aggressive. I mean, the numbers are going to matter for him this year, because I think Chelsea will, they have Estavo coming next year. They have Kendry Paez coming next year. Guys that are going to want to play and will be, willing to take his spot if he's not performing. Yeah, and everybody in the chat that's saying Guiu is dead on, man. You can't not. God, Tyreek George is a good dream, man. Tyreek George he lost it there at the end, but he is a talent, man. So what do you guys think? I mean, just if Chelsea bring in a left winger, I think Tyreek George should stay. I think if you say, hey, Raheem Sterling, you're going to play on the right more. Mudryk, you're going to start on the left. And we'll have Tyreek George with the team as well. I don't see there's no reason why Tyreek George couldn't play, cup games and conference league games. Well, Wrexham's on a break here. Nice save. Hit the post a little from Sanchez. Pranav, you're right. Two-footed wingers will be a menace. So I want to talk to you about this one little point here, because we saw Rexam get on a break, right? And there was a problem, right? Chelsea lost the ball in this area. Carney is up here. Noni lost the ball in this area. Lost the ball. 7 takes over, gets past him. Now we have a bad situation where Reese is out of position. And now it's a one-on-one versus Tosin. Tosin's quick. He's quick, but he's not that quick. He can struggle sometimes 1v1 versus defenders. Guiu. Man. Look at Guiu, man. That's effort. Good dribble. Decent pass to George. George was offside, but man, you got to love Mark Guiu. But, you know, you get in these areas right here, if you can see my mouse, now you have a big problem if this line is trying to play an offside trap and the 9 gets past him and Tosin. Now you're in a big recovery. That is where teams will get at us. Is if we lose the ball and Reece James is so far out of possession and this line does not stick. Constance, you're right. George is good. I really like Tyreek, man. There's a reason why I think Chelsea are sort of holding off a little bit on Nico Williams, because I think Tyreek George is next. He's got to get the experience, you know. And I think I'd like to see him more and more. And if Mudryk is hurt, or I haven't looked really at what it is, but what it is with him or why he's out. I don't know if you guys could let me know. I haven't checked my phone really at this point. But, you know, that gives more opportunity for George, right? So he can take them for sure. And Cuckoo really in this system has a free roam. He could really pop up anywhere. Yeah, mostly he's going to be in that left channel, sort of playing alongside Guiu in a certain extent. But we've seen him pop up in a lot of different areas. Sanchez at his feet makes a nice little pass with the guy coming down at him. Tosin, play along. All right. I don't mind it. Chelsea are very active, though. Very active in the press. Very active, and I like that. Lavia's getting into it. Guiu, Carney. I'm a big fan. I'm a big fan of the effort. And it's not Pochettino just run, as Moises Caicedo once famously said. It's more purposeful running, purposeful passes, purposeful movements. It's not just so free roaming, you know, where it's a bit of a challenge, right? And out of possession, we do see Reece having to keep an eye over his right-hand side, and that pass is open. So Madueke is going to need to come back, right? So when we move everybody back, right, we're going to move everybody back. Now we're in a defensive structure. And excuse the Wrexham numbers and whatnot. I didn't add their team in there at this point. And you know, when we play against a different team, that you can understand some of their profiles by you know, just seeing their name and whatnot. We can get into that, right? So, you know, Rexam are in their 3-5-2. And I'm not going to bring everybody back, but just for this purpose, right? So Madueke here, I'm sorry. Guiu just made a really nice run. God, I love Mark Guiu. Energy, effort. We just need to see him in front of goal a little bit more. Reece is such a crafty player in the midfield, man. He just shrugged off that Ollie Palmer for the striker for Wrexham like no problem, and he looks good in that role, man. He looks really, and you know, you can showcase his passing range in that as well. All right. So what I was saying was, you know, as Wrexham starts to get the ball here, Reece is sort of in a no man's land here. So Madueke really, you know, and it's a lot of running, you know, for him. He needs to, Nkunku, George, nice cross. Nobody gets on it but a corner. You know, if Madueke is not coming back, this area is so wide open for these diagonal for these diagonal balls, you know, and that's when you're starting to get into trouble. Tosin comes over, the 9 comes in, Badiashile comes over, the other attacker comes in, and you know, all it takes is for one person to not know what they're supposed to do, and then you have a serious problem. Oh, there we go, there we go. Cuckoo on the scoreboard, everybody. Chat. And Cuckoo scores. George takes a long strike. It gets a weird deflection. But Nkunku's there, and that's what he is, everybody. He's a natural goal scorer. Love it. First goal of the year, Christopher Nkunku. Don't we love that, everybody? Corner kick comes in. Wrexham take it well. George keeps the play alive. Gets a shot off. Deflects off of Levi Colwell, actually. Kind of looks like he meant to pass it back or just try to hit it and see where it went. Off Guiu and to Nkunku. So, can we call that a Mark Guiu assist? Touched him before Nkunku, right? All right. I don't know. I think so. Eric, bold prediction. Guiu will have more goals than Nico Jackson offsides calls. Well, if we're playing like we did again, if we play against like a 9-man Spurs, yeah, I mean, that might be hard to beat. I like Guiu. I think he's a good player, man. I like him a lot. Sanchez does a nice job. All right, we are at 1-0 to Chelsea. Excellent to see at this point. Let me update that score, hopefully. I'm trying out this new software, guys, and it's a little finicky. Yeah, it's not working great. Constance, yes, and Nkunku. Guiu doing, look at that touch, man. Take my one eye off of it, and Mark Guiu is already just tearing it up. Oh, yeah, here we go. No. 1. Why is it backwards? Huh. Okay. 1-0 Chelsea. I'm having some problems with my software, so you'll have to excuse me for a second. I apologize for that. I think we'll be able to get this. Sorry, folks. Bad TV. All right, we'll worry about that for the next stream. It's preseason for me too, everybody. That works. Yeah, a couple guys in the chat as always. Thank you guys for chiming in. I really appreciate it. It helps these streams go a lot easier as well. You know, every time Chelsea get the ball anywhere near the box, Guiu is raising his hand, making runs every time. It's effort, man. It's effort. It's a 18-year-old out there trying to make an impression, and I just, you know, it seems like he's a player where that wouldn't be unnatural for him to continue. You know, he wants to be good. He wants to try that little Lavia pass to Reese was really nice. Pranav as well. Guiu needs to get a shot on target for an impressive debut first half. Yeah, I think, like you said, Guiu has been really good. I know Guiu is going to be very resourceful to us. Fingers crossed. I think so. I would have a hard time believing after getting a start like this that he's going to go on loan. I think of Broja. God, look at that from Guillou. I hope everybody saw that. I'm at 39.30. A beautiful little chest down to Nkunku. Wow. I'm moved. I'm moved by Mark Guillou. Yep, Steven, you're right, 100%. Effort gets you the chances. You just got to make them to get them to work, and that's 100% right. I'm much more active on Twitter, not during the live stream, so hopefully we can get a guest in here next time, and when it's not 3:30 a.m. UK time, and we can get somebody to come in so I can send some tweets out, because I love being on here. I love seeing what everybody's got to say. So what are your guys' thoughts on the first half so far? I think it's been everything as advertised for Enzo Maresca. Kayla might have to get a Guillou jersey after this game. Yeah, I think that might be good. Guillau's definitely going to become a fan favorite here. So what are your first half thoughts? I know we're 5 minutes away, so something could still happen yet to change our minds, but I think it's everything as expected so far for Chelsea. I think when you look at the inverting of the midfield, I think when you look at the possession, and I think when you look at winning the ball and, in counter pressing and making opportunities off of that, improved set pieces, I definitely think that it's been as advertised. I don't have anything else to say other than that. It's been very impressive. Oh, Madueke definitely not ready. A little rusty. I'm probably regretting drinking this caffeinated beverage at this point. Seeing that it's 9:53 my time, so I might be up. I'm an old 28-year-old man now, so I have an early bedtime. Yeah, Guillau's been really good, and Nkunku, you've seen him. Not nothing too crazy, but Reese and Lavia I've been really impressed with. I think they've kind of understood each other well. I think they've made good passes. I think there's been a little bit of rustiness, obviously, understanding where people are at certain points, but I'm very impressed. Pranav, why does Maresca clap when the winger passes back to the defender and doesn't take the man on or 1v1? Is it the positioning? Should 1v1 only be done up higher up the pitch? It's a good couple of questions there, right? We got to remember that Maresca is a possession-based guy, right? And the guy closest to him is Tyreek George. So Tyreek George is going to come into this game, and he's going to be a little novice, He's going to be a little naive to the situation, playing against grown men for, obviously he's done it in training and whatnot, but when you get onto a game and you got, big names around you, it's going to be a little different. But you're going to see more directness, I think, from the wingers. But one thing that I will say for certain, and I'll show you guys this really quick here. You're going to see, get everyone set up again here on the board. Excuse the positioning. This is just pretty general for the meantime. George. Wow, Tyreek George is really... Oh, that looked close to a handball almost. Chelsea are definitely dominating the game at this point, though, folks, and we like to see that for sure. We definitely do. So when you start to talk about a low block, a 3-5-2, a 5-3-2, as it gets kind of set up, you're going to see a couple of different things, right? You're going to see not always a great opening. You know, if George gets the ball in this situation, let me move Nkunku over. You know, you can make that run. Yeah, Victor, I'm sorry. The scoreboard, I'm having a bit of trouble. This is a new software that I'm using, and I'm not. I can't get the score to change and the clock. I apologize. We're gonna have that resolved by the next stream. But it's 1-0 Chelsea. About to come. We're on the verge of halftime here. Maybe I'll get that going. Try to get that working during halftime. My software kind of crashed once earlier, and I don't want to mess around with it too much right now because I don't want it to crash and shut the stream down at this point. So that might just be something we'll have to just get fixed for the next one. So I apologize. I take the quality of the production and everything very highly. You know, I create all this stuff myself, and I'm pretty good at it usually. But, you know, just in this instance, it's not working. So I apologize. It's 1-0 Chelsea at this point. Here, let's see. Yeah, it's not working very good right now, the software. I probably need to refresh it, restart it, but I don't want to do that to the stream right now. But thanks, Victor, for being here. I appreciate it. And I'll try and keep you updated as I can with the score myself, and I'm sure I'll react to the goals. But, you know, back to what I was saying about George, you know, you're in this situation, right? And you see, no, Victor, no worries at all, man. I wish it would work all right for me. Oh, Wrexham have a little bit of a chance here, but Reese comes back, Tosin gets back. A job well done in recovery. But yeah, so, you know, you got George in this area here, and he has the ability, right, to get past these guys. And we're at halftime, guys, so we'll have a little halftime talk for us here. But, you know, you got a guy here, you could take him on, sure. In Maresca's system, you know, you love a guy to get past them and get to this area so you can get the crashers of Nkunku, you can get Guiu coming in, you know, you can have Lavia come into the box and whatnot. But I think, you know, he's a young player. He doesn't really want to make a mistake. This is a great opportunity for him to stick with the squad. So that pass back, you know, it's not the worst thing in a possession-based system, but I think you definitely want that to happen. And I think you do want it up higher off the pitch, right? So these are touchline wingers, right? So they're going to be outside here, and they're going to be trying to take them on, but they're also going to be looking for an Nkunku making a run. We've seen numerous times Guiu make this run. So there's going to be opportunities, but I think it's, you know, and I'll put myself here so we can just chat for a second. But, you know, overall, you're going to want to really focus on the movement of the players, right? You're going to want to focus on Jackson when he's in, Guiu, Nkunku, those KDH, Cole Palmer. You're going to want to see them making runs because those wide playmakers are looking to make passes. Those 8s and 10s in the top of the box are looking to make passes. So having those guys, you know, focus on the movement. When I'm learning to watch football, you're never finished watching because you're not out there. You're not really learning what they're doing. So you have to discern for yourself what's going on. I don't really watch the ball so much. I watch where other people are going, right? You know, when Guiu is making that run, where is he trying to pull that defender? Where is he trying to move him? Because who's coming right behind him for open space, right? That's football. It's moving people around because, you know, it's hard to score goals. I mean, we've seen that time and time again. Opayemi, thank you for coming into the channel. Thanks for coming in the chat, man. I really appreciate it. He says, I think Carney isn't ready to take the next step. He seems distracted. He also says Mark Guiu is immense and George is going to ball once he gets more comfortable. I think those are fair. I don't know. Carney is interesting, right? Because when we see the best out of Carney Chukwuemeka, he is close to the box, has an opportunity to give a guy a shake, get a shot off, lay a pass off, make runs. So it's very possible that he's not 100% comfortable in this system yet. But you're only going to get that by playing matches, you know? You're only going to get that by going out there and trying to do it, right? So it's a feeling out process. Distracted, I don't know, right? I mean, it's definitely, you know, he had the AC Milan rumor and stuff. I don't know if that's on his mind. I doubt it because he's a Chelsea fan. He wants to make it at Chelsea. But I think it's going to take time. You know, we get into week, 4, 5, 6 of the Premier League season, and you're seeing maybe a little bit of hesitance, and maybe he's not grasping that role as much. Maybe you're a little concerned, but I think as of right now, you can kind of say, okay, first game out there, didn't really do too much, and whatnot. But yeah, no, I appreciate you being in here as well. Ken, what's up, my man? Ken is one of the OGs in the Byline chat. You know, we're a group of guys that started out, we listened to Alex Goldberg's podcast for a while. We have a group chat. It's awesome. Ken's a top guy, a top follow on Twitter if you haven't already. Ken says, outside of George, Guiu, Sanchez, and Noni, how many games have the rest of the team played last season total? This group has played the least. Certainly they have played the least. This is, I was really surprised, Ken, specifically about where, how many minutes really Christopher Nkunku was going to play, and Carney and Reese, to see him get a full 45 out there, get their legs underneath them, I think is a really good thing. And we're winning, right? So that's as good as you can say, I mean, they got out there, no injuries. The field was a little bit of a question at the beginning, but it looks okay. It looks a little dry. And you're always worried about these U.S. matches, man. I was at the Chelsea game in Chicago against Dortmund last year when Nkunku got hurt, and it just sucks the life out of you. You have Ruben Loftus-Cheek go down, you have other players go down with injuries, and you just hate it. You just hate it. And that's coming from somebody who lives in the U.S. and doesn't go to England to watch the games, as frequent as I would like. And you when they're 3 hours away, you drop everything and go, and you hope nobody gets hurt out there. That's all you can really do at that point. Opa Yemi, I hope I'm saying that correct. Thank you for the support, man. I really appreciate it. He says, great channel, by the way. Keep it up. I know. I think it was Eric in the chat before. Yeah, Eric. He said, watching Nkunku's little movements in this game makes me very excited for the season. Followed by, oh shit. Followed by, Nkunku grabbing his knee made my heart stop. Followed by, my bad, guys. My bad. Sorry, guys. Which is like how you have to feel, unfortunately. Because he has been injured quite a bit. But if he's healthy, he's really good. So Steven brings up a great point as well in the chat. How many subs, right? Let's see. I mean, do they have a full 11 on the bench? I'm just trying to look here. You have Fofana. Vega can come in and play, a center back position. Malo Gusto could come in and play like a right center back position. Achimpong, Maresca singled him out individually, so he'll come on, I think. Chilwell could come on. What I'm interested to see is when Reese comes off, what do they do? Do they try Malo in that position? Do they move Vega in that position? Do they have Chilwell, play just like a left center back, which I think would be fine. But, to me, it's like with Chilwell, if he's not bombing up and down the wings and really doing what he's great at, I just have a hard time being like, yeah, man, go play left center back. When you have, and it's preseason, so maybe you have them do it, but in the season, when you have, a Tosin, Fofana, Levi, guys that are tall, can defend, had the ball away, I got a hard time believing they're going to put Chilwell out there. But you'll see Santos and Ugochukwu, hopefully. You'll see Raheem come on and take a wing spot. You'll see Angelo, Broja. I would see a full 11. I think, as we start to get into those Man City, Real Madrid, Inter matches, you're going to see, okay, these guys are starting. Moises is going to be back. Enzo, Cole Palmer, hopefully. KDH, you're going to see the guys that'll actually be starting play 60 minutes rather than, 45. So it's just all about progression, easing them into it. But I love it. I love seeing all these young guys come in as well, Nyjah, I think Guiu is very good. He is imposing. Guiu is one of my best players. I mean, he didn't get a shot on target. I guess you could say he got an assist because it deflected off of his back and got to Nkunku. But he was one of the best players out there. He is fun to watch. His work ethic is just really, really impressive. And it's a guy that wants to make the team. He wants to be a guy that Chelsea can rely on, right? So, I think Guiu is a good, 5 million euros or 6 million euros. You can sell him right now if you wanted to and triple your profit and triple your money on that. Frankline, Palmer to score. Well, Palmer's not out there, but if he was, I'm sure he would have a few goals at this point. Thanks for watching, Frank. I appreciate it. Palmer's, he's coming back from international duty. Probably won't be back until, depends. He's been working out, so maybe he comes back a little sooner than we expected at this point. Eric says the whole reason we signed 73 center backs is so we don't need to play people out of position. And he said, totally agree with you on Chile. I think it makes more sense than anything. I think Chilwell, if he moves on, I think that'd probably be for the best, right? I think, if you see Chilwell move on, he was great in the Champions League season. He's a leader and well-liked amongst the club, but, he just doesn't really have a position in Maresca's system. Fink, I like that we're moving the ball quickly and that there seems to always be a pass on. Pretty decent understanding for the first game of the preseason. Yeah, I said this. I said this as well, We're seeing Maresca's system immediately. We're seeing the counter-pressing. We're seeing the inverted. We're seeing the possession. We're seeing the dragging of the center backs by the striker. We're seeing movement, So we're all seeing that. CFC Zoobs, thanks for coming into the chat, my friend, as well. We need the center backs to make more passes in the midfield, and Noni and George need to take on their man more. Yeah, I think that's a good point. I think when you start to look at those center backs that we brought in, right? When you bring in a Tosin, you have a Levi Cole, you have a Badiashile, you can say what are the two things that all three of those guys have: passing ability and height. So, there are going to be times for those line-breaking passes. I just think, you're playing a Rexam side that doesn't want to get killed. They're going to play a really compact system, and they're not going to necessarily, give you that type of liberty, but you play against a better opposition that might come at you a little bit more. Those passes are certainly going to be there. And especially if you see the players making the runs, at least, they're trying. So that can be a good thing, a good thing to see when the season gets going, right? That, yes, it's something they're working on. Those runs are happening, right? So that's a good thing. Opayemi in our jersey looks real good on TV. I know there's been a bit of negativity about it. I like the jersey. I don't think it's bad. I think it's different. I really don't like Nike as a sponsor, even though I'm wearing it, but I wear everything Chelsea. My whole wardrobe is Chelsea. My coworkers laugh at me because I wear Chelsea almost all the time to work and everything like that. But yeah, I'd rate Adidas more personally, but I think Nike is definitely not missed with this one, but it might not just be everyone's cup of tea, which is interesting. Steven, second question: Viega midfield or defense second half? What do we think? Surely midfield with Chile at left back. Yeah, probably. But if you want to get Malo Gusto out there, then where do you do that? I mean, Viega could play anywhere in that defense. He doesn't have to play left back. He could play left center back. I mean, you could see him playing just in the regular back line in the middle almost and have, okay, Nazar saying I'll change. Yeah, I'll have to change my lineup on my tactics board here in a second when I kind of can figure out what's coming out. But, yeah, I'm not entirely sure about Viega, where he's going to play. It's going to be interesting. I think he's definitely going to come on now, so we'll see where he is slotted, and if Chilwell comes on in addition to him, where he's slotted, and maybe we see a Wesley Fofana too. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, we don't have a third option in the midfield. I mean, you could play Santos and Ugachukwu if you want there. But you probably play Santos where Carney's playing, I would guess. And then you'd have Ugachukwu play where Lavia was playing, I would guess. And then maybe Vega goes in the midfield. But he had talked about Malo Gusto playing in the midfield too. So, like, you know, I don't know. I mean, Vega could just play that left center back role, or he could play that center back role, maybe. Because if everyone's changing, you just got to look at the center backs and you're like, okay, does Josh come on? Does Vega come on? Oh, okay. Nazar said that. All right, I'll have to look because I got to change my board here to adjust what it looks like. Nija, good to see Romeo Lavia out there. The guy looks good. I want to see him play up to 30 games. Yeah, I think it's going to be. Thank you, Steven. Thank you, Steven, for putting that in there. I appreciate that. Now I can make my adjustments. But first, Nija, good to see Romeo Lavia out there. The guy looks good, and I want to see him play up to 30 games. I think you hope to see him play at least that. You know, I think if he can stay fit and sort of ease into it, and hope that these injuries are sort of put past him at this point. Hopefully he can be a guy that plays even more because, you know, he's a good player. All right, I'm going to get back to your guys' comments in a second here. Just give me 2 minutes. I gotta change up the team that's out there for Chelsea. I'm using a software called Tactical Pad, not an ad, of course, but I found it to be pretty handy. So give me 1 sec. Eric, hey man, before I get started on this, thanks man. I know it's getting super late, so if people are dropping off for whatever reason, you know, I totally understand, but thank you all for coming in. I really appreciate all the support we've gotten. I mean, you know, we've gotten over 12,000 views on this, so it's been fantastic. I mean, we had like 300 concurrent viewers and whatnot. I mean, it's been spectacular. And I know people are trying to find the stream and whatnot, but if we can, you know, keep some of those new people in there and get them in, the stream can just grow. And, you know, then we're bringing in guests and whatnot. I mean, with the Simon Phillips portfolio, you know, we can find a lot of good content creators to come in and join on these match watch alongs. We'll have Simon in, Jay McIntosh, you know, Score can come in. There's going to be quite a few guys that can come into these, and we can really make this a more, you know, diverse. Looks like Carney's staying out there. I just saw. Yeah, it looks like Carney's staying out there with Broja. Okay. That's interesting. Wesley Fofana's out there too. All right. Let me get this lineup in, guys, and we can start to look at the tactics. Just give me 1 second here to get all these guys in. Yeah, weird. Well, I mean, he needs to get his footing. He probably wasn't happy with himself in that first half, right? So, you know, he's probably, and you'll have to excuse Achimpong's numbers wrong in here. The numbers came out late, so some of them did not get updated, and I apologize. Yeah, you know what? It looks like Malo is inverting in the midfield. It looks like Leslie is playing a little bit more advanced. It looks like Carney's playing where Nkunku was. Well, let's see. Who didn't come on, right? Vega did not come on. Interesting. So Fofana's playing center back. Chilwell's playing left center back. Achimpong is playing here. Angelo didn't come on too, right? Or did he? Sterling's on the left. Andre's playing there. I would imagine that Vega's going to come on. But, I mean, oh yeah, Angelo did come on, excuse me. Sorry, just trying to grab everybody here. Carney is still on. Good for Carney. Well, he's playing. Now he's going to be a more of a serious outlet, right, for him. Kind of like how Nkunku got a lot of the ball last time. 4, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm missing somebody. Oh yeah, Ugachukwu. My fault. All right, sorry about that, guys. Let me pop this up in a second here. And we can show you what the formation is looking like right now. All right. Yeah, now you guys should see that. So this is what Chelsea is looking like right now. In that similar formation to what they did last. Bergstrom almost made a horrible error there. We do see Carney operating in that area where Nkunku was operating before. So he probably looks to be more of the main playmaker. This other guy over here, just envision that when if you look at the board here where Carney is playing and Ugachukwu is, that's going to be Nkunku and Cole Palmer more than likely. So, you're going to have more of a attacking bit there to do. So, we'll see how these guys. This is definitely more of a rotated squad at this point. Carney stays in for a little bit. Man, it's so good to see Wesley Fofana out there. So good to see Wesley Fofana out there, man. You forget how good of a player he is. And if you're coming in recently, I just want to apologize again. The scoreboard, for some reason, I'm having trouble with, and I don't want the app to crash. So moving forward, we'll have a running clock, and the numbers will be operating and all that good stuff. So just hang tight on that, and I apologize in the meantime. But it's 1-0 Chelsea, 49th minute, 48 minutes and 30 seconds on the clock. So we got a whole other half of football to get into, guys, and I'm really excited. I'm happy that you guys are all here at this point. So please go ahead and like and subscribe. Your comments in the chat have been just top tier all day, and I can't thank you so much. Can't thank you enough about the support. It's meant so much to see this community get together and grow. And as always, guys, this stream is brought to you by Simon Phillips Talks Chelsea, a publication that I've recently got involved with some of my written analysis. So this is a Simon Phillips Talks Chelsea production. CFCDP is just operating under them at this point, helping each other gain bigger platforms, offering content and whatnot. So go ahead in the comment in the description below. You can find the link for the webpage. You can go ahead there. It's a subscription-based service, $5 a month, really cheap. You can get transfer source news. You can get, opinion-based articles, and other things as well. So, Angelo making a nice little move there. Ken Berry in the chat says, Ugachukwu playing so advanced is interesting, to say the least. Yeah, it is. And I kind of figured that Andre might be playing in that role, right? You think of Andre as more of the box-to-box midfielder, so to speak. So seeing Leslie kind of go in there is interesting. But you do notice, and I'm at the 50th minute mark, so I'll show you guys here, when they're in defense, right? Gusto is starting to drop back in, right? So then, Ah Pyong is coming back in here. Ugachukwu is dropping off. So then you're kind of getting into that double pivot as well. So, but you do notice that Angelo is making a really concerted, effort to get back in those situations, because we saw in the first half when Reese was in this position here that, you know, if Madueke is coming back, there's an opportunity and there's space here where you can get into some trouble. Chile at left center back in possession is so odd. Yeah, it is odd. It is a bit odd that Chilwell's playing that. I just don't know where else you play him. You can't play him at the inverted role. You can't play him in, you know, a traditional get up and go left back because that's the left winger's job. There's no wing backs in this system. I think Chilwell's time is up, guys. I really do. I think Chelsea would move on from him if they could, but, you know, leadership and availability. I mean, you have some guy. You have Badiashile, Colwell that can play. Man, Chelsea looking a little sloppy to start off this second half here. It's my last bit of caffeine for the night, guys. I'm gonna be up all night. I'm gonna be a menace. Interesting question from Ken here. I'm looking at, wow, Angelo, really nice ball, almost went in. How do Nkunku, Palmer, Enzo, Reece, Caicedo, and Jackson all play at the same time? It's $1 million question, Ken. All right, we can look at this. We can sort of see how, right? So I would imagine that if this is your formation, you're going to say, okay, Jackson plays here. You're probably going to say Nkunku plays here. You're going to say Palmer plays here or here. Then you're probably going to go, you know, and they might fudge it a little bit. They might fudge it in a sense where Caicedo is technically your right back that's inverting into that base of the midfield. Just because you have so much talent in Carney and in Nkunku and Palmer that you want to play in those little half spaces. So you might say, okay, Caicedo is the inverting fullback, right? And Reece is playing more of like a right-sided center back role. That's what my guess would be the easiest way to do it. Otherwise, you're going to say, hey, we're going to have to move Palmer to the right wing, drop Madueke, and put Caicedo where Ugachukwu is in here, and then have it be Jackson and Nkunku, Caicedo, Palmer, Enzo, Reece. But you know, it's a question, right? People have suggested that Caicedo could be playing on this top role because Wilfred Ndidi played that way. But, you know, it's different when you have, Sterling and takes a shot. Good shot. Good press. You see it already, though, guys. You see that counter pressing already. You see Chelsea trying to win the ball back up in advantageous situations. And that's impressive. You know, having that big of an effort and focus is good. I just don't like where Ugachukwu is playing, to be honest. I don't think he offers much in that role. I mean, when that's a Palmer, you're going to be a lot happier. Angelo, nice pass. All right. Leslie has a chance, turns it over. You know what I mean? That's a tough position for Leslie to be playing in. I would really like if they would have switched Santos and Ugachukwu personally, because I think Santos is a little bit more technically sound in those, you know, closer to goal areas. Pranav, yeah, really good points, man. Chilwell is, in my opinion, is done. I think it's a left wing back or bust for him. I don't know how he fits. I don't know how he fits in this team. I just don't see it. I don't see him playing a left center back. We have guys there that are better. I mean, you keep him around for his leadership, perhaps, but I think I think you're limiting what you could get out of him, and what you could get out of him maybe isn't still good enough if he was playing left wing back. Pranav also asks, Gusto inverting, or just says, he comments, Gusto is inverting, is also interesting. His tendency is to drift wide. Yeah, he did that a lot when he was at Lyon and when he was at Chelsea last year. That overlapping was good. But he's very technically sound, right? So he can operate in those half spaces very well. Ooh, Carney with a nice little shot from that right channel. It's hard for Carney when he was playing on that right-handed channel, right? When he's playing on this side and Nkunku's on this, you're going to give Nkunku that space because he's better than Carney right now. But when you have Carney here, he can't cut in on his left and it's the same. He's naturally right-footed. He wants to shoot off of his right. Gusto's going to be interesting how he inverts as well, because that was a question that I had initially is, you can't obviously assume that Reece is going to play every game. So what do you do with Gusto, and does he act in that same inverted role? But I think it depends, right? If Cucurella's in the game, maybe you invert Cucurella and Malo has a little bit more ability to go forward, but then you get into a spatial awareness type of thing when guys are coming back on defense and you're on an odd man, break or, trying to defend that. So it'll be interesting to see what Gusto looks like. Steven, we're still trying to figure out the Palmer thing. Or do you just have Palmer and Nkunku out wide and the other 8 in with Caicedo, Reece James next to Enzo, and Palmer switches throughout the game with Nkunku? I think it's going to be fluid. I think it's going to be rigid but fluid. I think, you looked at how he played at Leicester. It was like, Chelsea give up a goal. It's 1-1. Really poor from Chelsea. They have not been really great in this half, to be honest with you. I'll have to watch it again. But Wrexham get the goal. It's preseason, but looked really out of sorts there. But back to what you were saying, Steven. Caicedo would be like, and Ken was mentioning it here, would be like Conte as well, playing as like an 8 box-to-box role. And Caicedo has the technical ability to do it, right? So I wouldn't be too worried about that. But I think it's going to be kind of free-flowing in a sense, but I think also... Oh, that should have been offside, frankly. I think Palmer, the Wrexham striker, was well offside, and that should have been offside, but whatever. Not too worried about that. So I think it could be free-flowing, but you have to remember the rigidity of, Leicester's system last year. Leslie Ugochukwu does not look good. He is turning the ball over every 5 seconds. Ken says also, Angelo is moving me, showing me how effective a player with similar style can be if he plays touchline versus an 8. Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised actually if Angelo, I almost said Angelo, I'm Italian, so Angelo type thing. But Angelo, I think he could make the team, because you're gonna have to say like, okay, you have Palmer and Madueke who could play on the right, and you have Sterling and Mudryk that could play on the left. But then if Palmer's playing as an 8, then you really only have Madueke on that side, and Angelo, could play that right-handed role. Or you could say, hey, Sterling, you're going to back up right and left. So it's not apples to apples, how that might look. I mean, because I think George could make the team too, but he could also do really well playing on getting a loan. I think he's ready for that, but I would love to see him thrive in a conference league or a cup competition as well. Steven agrees with Ken there. Angelo is looking better than I remember 12 months ago, which was always good to see. Yeah, he had a really I mean, he got injured a bunch. You know, he had a really long-term injury at Strasbourg, so he didn't really get to go after it, you know, play as much as he probably would want to last year because of that injury. But when he did play, he was very, very impressive. And I think he fits that touchline winger vibe that Maresca's looking for, and the ability to create and cut in. So, you know, to be honest with you guys, I think that, yes, there's obviously players that'll be making the team no matter what. But I think there's a couple of fringe spots that you could look at. There's Vega. There's, you know, Chilwell. Does he stay on the team? There's, you know, does Tyreek George or Angelo make it? Achim Pyong is another guy that Maresca named firsthand yesterday. You know, is someone that can play in that role in that center back room. So it's something to be interesting. Wrexham's making some wholesale changes here. You know, thank God I didn't bet on this game. You never know with preseason friendlies how this might shake out. Gotta get my water in. Angelo is the right-sided option. Steven says George is left-side option. Issue is left side need to shift Sterling. Only that's a semi-realistic option. Yeah. I would like both of them to come. I mean, if you said, okay, we can ship Sterling out and we can get, you know, George to stay in and we can get hey, now take it easy, Ken. You know, we can get George to stay in, and we can take get Sterling out of there. I'd be down with that. Iavolo, hope I said that right. I'm sorry if I didn't. Do you think Chelsea got this, or will it end as a draw? Well, I mean, quality-wise, you'd assume Chelsea would get it. There's probably going to be a couple more changes yet. You're going to hopefully see a Vega come in. I don't know. Was there another guy? Is Vega the only one that's not come in at this point? And the other goalkeeper, of course. I don't know. I always rate Chelsea to get it. I will say, though, like last couple of years, I mean, there's been a few times where I've wanted to put a bet on, you know, Chelsea go up 1-0 against like Forest or Sheffield United, and I'm like, man, I could just bet on the other team to score a goal and it would be easy money, you know, but it's hard to bet against your team at a point like that. How many Olympic games have you bet on? You know, I haven't really got into it today. The U.S. played France and it was today, and I watched a little bit of that, and it was it was tough sledding for the U.S. That France team is good. Olise with a really good goal. That was a tough one to watch, to be honest. Steven, I'm sorry, Steven, if I'm mispronouncing it. It could be Stefan for all I know, so I apologize if I'm getting that wrong. Or keep moving George between development and senior team, promise him game time in Conference League and Cups, and he likely stays if we cannot shift Sterling, which looks like we won't be able to shift him. Yeah, that's probably how it'll shake out. I could see that. But, you know, Angelo, you'd probably want to see stay. Look at that. Gusto, man. Gusto, very nice in the midfield. Couldn't quite get the pass from Sterling, but very nice, very fluid. Steven? Okay, great. Thank you. I appreciate that. I have my last name is Piccolo, and people just butcher it. Or my first name is Dylan, and they say Dylan, and it's never nice when people get your name wrong. So I try to make sure that I get everyone's name right. But Ken, yeah, I know I haven't looked at many of the Olympic Games yet, though. I usually like to watch the swimming, though. The swimming is usually one event that I like to watch. Track is good. I'm a big Summer Olympics guy. I like Summer Olympics more than Winter Olympics, you know. The winter is fun. I like hockey and snowboarding and stuff like that. But, you know, you get basketball, soccer, golf, and the summer one. I mean, the summer one is pretty clear, I think. Back to the game, though, just a little bit, you know, Chelsea is still trying to work the possession. You know, we've seen a couple of rough passes from the likes of Ugo Chukwu and Just sort of misplaced ones. Ugochukwu was going out on loan. Santos is going out on loan, so you can watch them for development. But, I just like to watch more where they're operating. And see how that could play with people that are going to be here. Hey, golf is fun, Ken. Golf is fun. I was watching the British Open the other day, and I enjoyed it because I did bet on Xander Schauffele to win, and when he was down 2 strokes, and I think I got him at like 4-1, so that was fun. And Steven, it can be a long day to speak when you have to correct people and they still do it wrong. It's brutal, but people get it eventually. Iavolo says, I bet on Chelsea to win and both teams to score, so let's see. LOL, so let's see. Chelsea looking better tactically. I'm hyped to see what they can cook up in the Prem this season. Yeah, I think in the Prem, this is just a snapshot of what you're seeing, really. You're seeing the right things. You're seeing the spatial awareness. You're seeing the counter pressing. You're seeing the possession. So, obviously it's not the exact team you'll be seeing out there. There's plenty of players coming back from break yet, but you're starting to see the ideas being instilled in the team, which is a good thing. Opayemi says, Angelo looks so classy and much better fit for the team than most of our wingers. Reminds me of David Silla. He has to stay somehow. I wouldn't be surprised. I wrote on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea if you guys saw it. If not, like I said, you can go ahead and subscribe at the link. Wow, I just realized that's my fingers on that screen. I don't know how that worked, how that happened. Oh, I fixed it. Oh, I'm a genius. I'm a genius. Boom. Oh, guys, we're making some progress today. Yeah, they were out of order. I must have clicked something and it shaked out. That was hand cam. I'm like George Costanza from Seinfeld. I'm a hand model. Yeah, and the scoreboard, I got to get that figured out. I just didn't want the stream to crash on my first time doing the live stream. So we'll get that resolved for the next one. But yeah, Angelo, I like him a lot. I wrote on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea. I wrote that he, I think he has the ability to make this team. I just think it's a matter of what's the next best thing for his development. And do Chelsea view him as a flip? Is he like, let's see him perform and let's make $15 million off of him, or do they think that he has an actual chance? Because it's real. Estevao coming in, Kendry coming in. It's real. So we got to be prepared for that. So it might be a flip with Angelo, unfortunately, but you never know. Steven, need to switch up Ugo and Santos. Yeah, I agree. I don't like how these guys are positioned. I think Andre should be playing up higher. I think he, when you saw him for Brazil in the U20s, he was finding himself in the box more often. You're kind of limiting him back here. I mean, yeah, you want him as a deep line playmaker, sort of positioning the game, but Leslie really isn't the guy you want in that position. But I just don't know with the squad, with what we have right now on the team. Available to us today. I don't know who else you would put there, really. But it is good to see them. It's good to see these guys. It's looked a lot sloppier this half. We're at the 70th minute now on my stream, so I apologize if I'm in a different place than you guys, but that's just how streaming culture is, unfortunately, now. Nobody's at the right time. Ken Berry went to the range with my girl yesterday, actually. Yeah, me and my fiance went to the driving range last weekend. She doesn't like to hit too much, but she brought her chair, brought her books, and she was happy. She did hit a few. She was all right with that. And I like having both Olympics. I like the Olympics. Love having sports on all day. Yeah, For sure. And especially in America, like when, Chelsea turnover. 2-1 Wrexham. Yeah, the second half hasn't been good, folks. I don't like this. I don't like this midfield setup. It doesn't feel like these guys really understand what's going on. Too many turnovers. These guys are out of possession. Wrexham takes the 2-1 advantage. Bergstrom really didn't have a chance. And guys, let's not look too much into Acheampong. Yeah, he trying to be a little adventurous, loses the ball in the midfield, gets pulled way out of position. When you don't have a right back, you have no cover at that point. That's not really what you're looking for. You're looking for possession. You're looking for high percentage passes. What do you do? It is a bummer, though. But yeah, these are second and third choices, but, and Josh is really young, so you can't necessarily fault him for that, right? He's going to make bad decisions every once in a while, but, that just kind of shows how raw he is. Maybe he was fouled, but what do you say? I mean, Chelsea down 2-1 to Wrexham, 72nd minute. Yeah, Pranav, you bring up a really good point, and I mentioned this before, that this area over here is going to be really, really interesting. I mean, the central center back. If your center back here is going to make an adventurous run, you're going to have a couple of things, right? Malo probably needs to slide back as this run is happening because, you're not hopefully making that run. But Fofana, in that sense, needs to come over, and then the natural progression needs to come over. And Wesley, to my knowledge, I don't know how much center back he's really played. So it's kind of new to him at this point. Yeah, Chelsea have looked pretty poor. Wesley did the right thing. I think he just needs to commit more on that, watching the replay. But, it's a bad turf. Does he really want to slide in? Does he really want to really hard stop into that? You got to consider that a little bit as well. But it's definitely not looked as comfortable as it did in the first half. You definitely saw Chelsea, make some mistakes for sure. But not leading to, goals and stuff. They seem pretty technically secure. But as I said, guys, this is the second string out there right now. But yeah, Pranav, you bring up a very good point. This area here is up for grabs for people if they want to. If they want to go after that space, that's what teams are going to exploit. They're going to make you have to make tough decisions in this role. And it's imperative. I can't stress this enough. It's so important that the right winger comes back. It is so important because if they don't, you're left on an island, an absolute island out there. And with the central center back having to come over, and then you start to talk about guys making runs off of those guys. It's like I mentioned in the first half, it's about pulling defenders out of position, right? Yep. Tactics, fitness, results in that order. That's what matters. Yeah, this group doesn't look as sharp, but you're starting to see some of the ideas kind of take shape, right? You're starting to see what they want to do. I mean, you saw a little 1-2 in this area here between Carney, who slid over, and Angelo, right? Having this guy come in, Angelo timing that run, and the ball being played. It was a little late, but that's a bad challenge. That's a bad challenge. No card. Wow. You hate to see that. Wrexham came to play today. They probably weren't happy that they got beat, 5-1 last time? But, But it's all about fitness and, seeing some of the things that you want to see take place. 16 minutes left. I'd like to see Vega come on. I know he's been not, with the squad as long, but I think you'd like to see him come in. But maybe he's not. Maybe he's there just in case of emergencies with the second 11. But I can't imagine Carney's going to play the whole game. I mean, you could see Carney come out, and you could see Vega take Santos' spot, and then, Santos move up to where Carney was, I would guess. I'm going to have to rewatch this second half, guys, because there's been, some things that I've caught with, the chat and following it, and there's been some things as well without it that I haven't been moved as much. Let's just say that by the second half. There's been some bright spots, I will say. Angelo's look good. It's good to see Santos out there. I thought Malo looks okay in the midfield. Doesn't look as natural as a Reece James would, because I don't think Malo really... Man, Chelsea are getting beat on that high line. Yeah, Gusto. I mean, there's no real positional. All right, Sterling off and running. Turned it over. Another high line. Chilwell isn't ready for it. Good save by Bergstrom. I feel like Bergstrom's been at the club forever, man. Like, he's always in these preseasons. But he just doesn't play. Yeah. Man, Chelsea are just getting battered. Not as much possession. They're having to defend. Brozier really hasn't had any service. Also not making as many runs, I don't think. That's probably also lacking because the possession numbers have been slightly down. Pranav says very early days, but underlaps from Carney and Nkunku attacking were missing, and overlaps from Reece and Lavia were also missing. Going to take a few games until we're fluid. And guys, even if this score stays the same and we lose, or even if we draw, or however it shakes out, or we win, you got to take these games for what it is. People are going to be so reactionary on Twitter or wherever social media platform you look. People are going to say things. You just got to kind of trust what you're seeing with your eyes, right? And that's the hope of these watch-alongs, is that we can kind of figure out what we're seeing together, right? And what you can say from this point, you saw Maresca's tactics, his ideals starting to work. And especially in the first half, you saw aggressive runs from the strikers. You saw those two attacking eights pop out and link up to the, right and left center backs and link up into the wingers. You saw them crashing in. You saw Reece James do a lot of good things in that midfield position, but it's going to take some time, boys. It's going to take some time. It's never going to be easy. But, got the first half, got the win in the first half. Second half with the reserves, we're down a couple. But Sterling, misplaced pass to Angelo. Oh, good counter press, though. Shoot it, Carney. Handball. Come on. That was tough. I didn't see. Was that a handball? What did you guys think? Wow, Chelsea are all out of sorts at the back. This is just free-flowing football, isn't it, guys? Angelo wants to get on the left. You know, I really rate two-footedness in wingers. I like people that are able to... Carney down. Looks all right, though. I really rate players that can get on that right-hand foot. And Carney, Broja. Oh, Leslie Ugochukwu with the goal, left-footed. Who said he couldn't play an attacking 8? Very nice. Very calm. Very nice finish from Leslie. Very good. Are we not entertained, folks? Are we not entertained? But that right there, guys, is a fantastic example of it. A fantastic example of where you're going to see Cole Palmer show up. We're going to see Nkunku show up. We're going to see Kieran Dewsbury Hall show up in those areas where they're going to get passes. And now, it was a little bit of a broken play, but they're going to get in those shooting opportunities. Nice from Broja to find the space. Really good, guys. Really good. All right, let's get a win for Iavolo's bet. He's got Chelsea to win, so let's see if we can get that taken down. Oh, Steven's stream went down. Oh, no. Where are you Steven, are you watching it on like ESPN2 or ESPN Plus? Let's see, guys. I'd like to see Chelsea take advantage of that. But let's look real quick. Let's show you a little bit of what happened here, right? So, Angelo's here. Leslie's coming in this area. The defenders are back a little bit. They're sort of pressing in. Angelo, he just tried to make a nice little pass and went over to Broja over here. And it got deflected. Broja did a nice job sticking his foot out. Leslie was right there and had a nice little left-footed shot and found its way in the goal. So, you're happy with that. You're happy with that type of goal. And that's what I kind of mean about the preseason in general, right? You're going to talk about... Let's not look at the players. Obviously, it's important to see who scored the goals and, who's making good plays. But, Carney's in this area too, and it's causing a little hectic. He makes a run. He gets a little touch. It gets on to Broja, and Ugochukwu steps up and finds a little shot in. Really nice. I like Leslie. I don't think that that's his position that he should be playing. I haven't seen that sort of... Wow, nice Carney. Nice, Carney. Oh, keep it. Man, this ref isn't calling anything. Really, you're going to call that? You're going to call that, but not what happened? Well, I think it's a U.S. soccer ref, so what can you expect? Carney going the full 90. What do we think about that? I mean, I like it, keep him out there. I'm all for it, to be honest with you. Get him some minutes, but you just got to be careful. Yeah, Ken, Leslie trying to tell us something. I like Leslie, man. I do. I think he could be a serious player. Andre making a nice little challenge there. Didn't get it, but in the passing lanes. Now, I'll have to see here. But it looked like Gusto did a good job of getting back into that back. Oh, Wesley just got a boot to the leg. That's just what you need. Well, he got up, though. All right, guys, do we think Chelsea's going to get a winner here? I hope so. We're also going to do a poll in the chat. I forgot that we can do these, so we'll do those. We'll do a man of the match one. It's kind of hard based off of 45 minutes, but I'm just going to take all the players that I thought played a good game. All right, I just started a poll. Man of the match. Guiu, Nkunku, Lavia, Reese, or other. Could say anybody else. There's only 4 spots. I think Guiu. I think Guiu was the player that I'm like, wow, if I had no expectations, if I had no idea what anybody was going to do, who was the best, it was Guiu. It was work ethic, passing. If you watched in the first half, that little shoulder pass down that he gave to Nkunku, who darted in, that was super impressive. Let's see, who else do we got? We got Nkunku, another one. He played a good game as well. Guiu and Nkunku. I put Lavia, Reese. I thought they played okay. Nobody from the second half thus far. Angelo's had some good moments. Chelsea corner from Chilwell. Oh, God. Okay, nice tackle, Malo. Make a pass. Make a pass. Come on, Angelo, do something. Oh, nobody was there. Andre couldn't get there. 87th minute, 2-2. Sorry, guys, about the scoreboard again. I'll get that fixed for next time. I apologize once again. First time doing it on this platform, on this streaming net thing, so I'll have to get that squared away. I didn't want to get the stream knocked down, but thank you, everybody, for joining. It's been a lot of fun. This is my first time ever doing a watch along, and maybe I've spewed too much and talked too much, but hopefully we'll get another guest on here, so it's not just me chatting the whole time. But I've really appreciated everyone joining in. It's been really fun. Sterling, Carney, Josh, shoot. Achimpyong, man. Nice little effort from the right foot of the box there. See, if you just saw that, the play was getting worked around in the box here. And that right center back in this place, Josh, I have a hard time saying his last name. So if I say Josh, just understand that's what I'm talking about. He came up in this area. So I could see if Cucurella's in the team and you want to invert Cucurella for a minute. You pop Reese up in these areas when you really have good possession in the opposing third. This could be a nice spot for Reese to go in and get some shots. 89th minute, probably will be a couple minutes of extra time. Who didn't we see today? Let's see. We did not see Beach. We did not see Vega. So Vega, coming off, early days for him, just kind of got going a little bit. So we probably won't. Maybe we'll see him against Celtic. Let's see if Chelsea can get a late winner here. Yeah, Malo is just free roaming out there. Oh, Broja. Ooh, that was close. Kind of headed it away from goal. I'm not sure about Broja. I think if you ask me now. Oh, Wesley. Nice. Oh, Malo. Sterling was open. Oh, man. Let's see, is there any extra time? 90th minute, 2-2. Teams probably want to get out of there. 4 minutes. Wow, that's a lot. It's a lot of extra time for a preseason game. But maybe they're looking for a late winner. Maybe someone will nick one. Happy to see Chelsea come back, of course. They've definitely looked a little better since they scored that second goal and since they've had the opportunity to get a little bit more of the ball, a little bit more of the possession. And you got to remember, this is the second group. Possession is going to be critical, right? It's going to be critical for this team in order to, have the ball, have more chances. We've seen from, there's only 2 minutes of extra time, so they lied to us. So there's only a minute left. Let's see if Chelsea can get one more chance, guys. Carney has looked a lot better this half, I think. A lot better. A lot better. Oh, just a little too high for Broja. I don't know about Malo in that role. I don't know about him in that inverted role. I think it'll be fascinating to see what they end up doing with him in that role. He's just got to get more comfortable, I think. All right. Minute 44, 91, almost 92nd minute. Let's see if Chelsea can get one more chance or if they'll call it right on time. No real chance in the box. I don't see the ref grabbing his whistle yet, but I think he will in a minute here. And I might be behind you guys, so the game might be over at this point, but not quite for me at this moment. Yeah, Pranav, you're 100% right, man. Successful game, no injuries, and no injuries in the preseason would be a great scenario. Is there 4 minutes of extra time? I mean, the sign said 2. They have 2 up there right now. Okay, yeah, it's over. All right, guys, 2-2 final, Chelsea and Wrexham. We saw a lot of good things. The second half was not as good as we'd hope. It was definitely, a lot of youth, a lot of second, third string guys out there that kind of let that one slip away. But overall, I think it was a successful thing. We saw a couple of things from Maresca's ideology and tactics in the beginning. We saw his ability to counter-press quickly. We saw when the possession was good, we saw Guiu do a really good job, really good making runs in the box. We saw Nkunku get interested in those plays as well. He scored a goal. Leslie scored a goal. So we have a lot to mull over. Content-wise, coming up, I'll have a match review and just some quick 3 or 4 thoughts that'll go out on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea. You guys can go ahead and subscribe using the link in the description below. Find out that article. You'll definitely see some threads and rhetoric on Twitter as well from me talking about the performance. I want to thank everybody. I mean, we almost had 14,000 views this stream, which was absolutely incredible. And you guys were just fantastic. Fantastic in the chat. I love the interactiveness. I love talking to you guys. And I just love, I love this platform and I love working with all of you. So man of the match is Mark Guiu. After the poll was put out, only 45 minutes to do so, but he was very impressive. Definitely one of the biggest bright spots of the night. As I said, we won't have a watch along for Chelsea Celtic. I will be at the game, so I'll be doing a live match blog, which I will post on my YouTube, and you'll find it on Cy Phillips Talks Chelsea as well. I'll be interviewing some of the fans out there, getting the pulse of the crowd, seeing you guys. From some of you guys that are abroad, seeing what it's like to be at a Chelsea U.S. event and kind of get in with the feel of the fans and everything like that. So I want to thank you so much, as always, for the support. Feel free to subscribe to the channel. Follow me on YouTube and on Twitter. That would be awesome to get some more support. I love chatting with you guys on all the platforms. So we'll get that clock figured out. We'll get the scoreboard figured out. I think after Chelsea, it's Club America is the next match. So by Club America, we'll have everything going fully operational, and we will be excited to meet with you then, okay? All right, have a great night, everybody, and let's hopefully see a more fully rounded 90 minutes against Celtic. Thank you.